Hello, fabulous Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of March 2015, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, we have got a beautiful, powerful full moon that is speaking right to the heart of you. And it starts off early in the month. Early in the month, this beautiful full moon taking place, speaking in harmony with Pluto, speaking in harmony with Neptune, and happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with love, that has to do with the feelings that love provides, feeling loved and feeling alive thanks to love and romance and the promise that all of that brings. And when I see a sky like this and a full moon like this, it suggests a declaration of love. It suggests feeling very loved, yes, but romance very much in the air. This isn't just about a love that is intellectual or detached or, yeah, I know that you're there for me, but this is really about an honest exchange that just leaves you feeling so fortunate. And for some of you out there, leaves you feeling as if you have absolutely struck gold. There's a lot of lucky energy in the air in the early part of the month. And I think for you, this is really reaching to the heart of you thanks to this full moon that is taking place. Now, that doesn't mean it's all easy. In fact, to get you to that breakthrough moment, there may be some tough feelings that you're going to have to own. And so one thing that I've been advising Taurians, as I did in the general focused horoscopes, is that there is something to be said for restlessness, right? Because ultimately restlessness is sort of a feeling that's saying, I need change. I need something to be different. I need things to improve, however you are defining improvement. And so there is a little bit of restlessness, a little bit of intensity, and it does look like chances are to get to that breakthrough romantic moment, you are first going to have to face some really tough feelings within you, some tough emotions within you as well. Likely going to have to face a wave of strong emotions, and your decision and your choice is going to be not to project them. I was recently asked by somebody really in a relationship, lots of tough conversations taking place in the synastry between these two, and was asked, hey, if we make the decision to commit, can this work? Well, the thing is with commitment can make all kinds of things work. But the thing is that you have to be willing to own what you feel. So when the other person triggers you, you have to be willing to say as soon as possible, okay, this isn't about the other person. This is about me. What is it within me that is being pushed right now? What is it within me that I either need to heal or address? And it also requires strategies as well. And I know it sounds the furthest thing from romance, but it requires strategies as well to say, okay, you know when you're feeling a little irritable, and you have to be able to identify that as soon as possible and say, you know, I love you, but I'm irritable right now and I need space. To be able to say that as soon as possible and not have the other person take it personally, but to say, okay, I'm giving you that space to do that for each other. These things go a long, long way towards making the toughest synastry, the toughest relationships, actually something that can last for the bigger picture. Now, I share this with you because there is some of this really powerful emotion coming forward now. And it's going to be up to you to actually figure out a way, or as soon as possible, to acknowledge that this isn't about the other person and this is all about you. Venus will be speaking with Pluto just as we lead up to this full moon. Now, the full moon itself is really positive. Like I said, honesty, emotion, change, intensity of experience, all of that promised under this full moon. But to get you there, you've got to have this conversation between Venus and Pluto as the doorway that gets you to that point. I do think, as I look at the sky for you, that there's a lot of love on offer. There's the universe really wanting to help you to understand that love is a force of transformation. This is part of an extended lesson, really, and this is going to be especially emphasized for you now. You've got Pluto in fellow Earth signs, so anytime something happens in your sign or in other Earth sign, Virgo, speaking in harmony with Pluto, this lesson gets triggered for you. Okay, love is change. Love is transformation. Love is meaningful when it reaches right to your core and helps you to let go of the superficial and bring forward the things that you feel are your absolute strengths. That's when love is at its best. That's going to be the opportunity this month, but it requires ownership for your most intense feelings, especially when your buttons might be pressed. Those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, this particular sky does promise flirtation, that's for sure. The sky promises flirtation. It promises some really passionate exchanges, maybe getting a little swept away, maybe getting a little carried away. But ultimately, I do think that there is still this part of you that in line with this exchange that is likely to come in the first part of the month. While it is kind of flirty on the surface, there are some very much more intense undertones that are taking place here. And it looks like as a result of this, some of your own, whether it's fears or memories or stuff that you went through, gets triggered a little bit. Some of your buttons get triggered a little bit. And so it really is going to be up to you to realize what the intention is with this person and what it isn't. So with Venus speaking with Pluto in this type of conversation that astrologers call a square, our emotional and love perspectives can be a little skewed. And what I mean by that is you may think that somebody is not being very nice or saying something that is kind of insulting, but that might not be it at all. To their mind, they're actually giving you a compliment. Or it might be somebody who's really sarcastic, and so you think that they're saying something that's not very nice, but actually they're giving you a compliment in their own strange way. So it's about figuring out how it is that this person is actually what they're actually trying to express to you, and allowing the goodness of that to come through even when it feels like some sensitive parts of you are being awakened in that. Owning that, not making it about the other person in that exchange, and especially in those early moments. Those of you who are dating somebody, this sky is amazing for dating somebody. So if you're dating somebody, this just has passion and romance and hope and fantasy and just getting very carried away, feeling very swept off your feet kind of energy there in the early part of the month, thanks to this full moon. And I think about, like how sometimes, especially when you're getting to know somebody, or even if you are with somebody now, especially if you're in an established bond, there may be some tension, there may be some disagreement, which leads to making up. And that whole process seems to be quite exceptional for you, quite memorable for you, I gotta say. So if you're with somebody, there may be some disagreement in the just before we get to this full moon. But once you move past that, once you actually make up, it looks like very smooth sailing after that as well. Very transformative, very moving experience is very likely indicated as well. So if the love is there, then you'll be able to transcend whatever disagreement might be there, whatever not meeting of minds might be there. You will find ways to resolve that, and some of those ways just may end up being energetic. I hope that was subtle enough. But it does look like a really great sky regardless of your relationship status. With a sky like this, you are promised some romance. You are promised some fun. So make sure that you are open to it, even just a little bit, and you will find yourself getting swept off your feet. Now, for some of you, that may be getting swept off your feet by a fantasy, but as long as it allows you to affirm your worthiness to experience love, it can only be a good thing.